Hi viewers, welcome back to another episode of Ed Bereik for IPhones, the podcast where we talk about the business world, promote business, lifestyle, motivation, and inspires people. Guys, we're also on YouTube and on Facebook. And if you do not want to miss out, press that button. Please like and subscribe and follow. And yeah, guys, a Baba with a dream, with Clippers turning into an empire. So he's going to tell us our story, how things is going. Give it up for Dave. How are you
I,
doing, brother?
I Mr. Marshall. I'm good. I'm doing well. Yeah, so welcome to Blade of Honor. Welcome in Atlantis, Blade of Honor. I'm Devlin Matthews. I'm 23 years old. I have one son. I have a girlfriend. And yeah, I'm the owner of Blade of Honor, the business established since 2025, last year,
Okay.
which is, I started the 11th of the 11th month, 2025, started the business. I operated the business alone first.
Mm.
So the 2nd of January, then I got called to help me out and we're building a team together now. So yeah, um, I would actually start. The thing with me starting becoming a barber or
Mm.
getting to the point where I start feeling with clippers.
Yes.
I start over the Sunday and I'm back. Yeah, because when I get
Uh,
and then every Sunday, every second Sunday maybe. It wasn't every Sunday consecutive Sundays maybe. But it was like a regular Sundays, be a police cook Sunday for
mm.
us. So he would always need to cut his hair. And that's how I started falling in love with the Clippers. Because he gave me the opportunity to just start cutting his hair randomly. And that's when it started with the fading. So I actually started fading by the age of 12 years old, still even 12.
Okay.
So I was basically 11 years old when he gave me the first opportunity to start cutting his hair because of his mom passed away. So I
Okay.
hated that.
Yo, but I like it, but now, whoa, were you nervous? Did it trust you? Because,
He was now basically Kojak as much I did was bless him, man.
uh,
Kojak is basic. But the thing is with the Kojak you must cut it straight. So it was I was a bit nervous for the first two,
mm.
three times. But afterwards I started handling the clip.
Mm.
But there was only demon there in the fantasy. It was like basically the essential and I had oh it's a clip as when it
Oh,
okay, so that's that he always went to borrow a machine from his friend.
mm.
And then every Sunday we maybe go get his beer and then
Mm.
come back home with the clippers in his hand. Maybe I told it to be something.
Sure.
You told
Old school.
yes, you tana bosoti, quality and what and then you come. Only number one come no. You get it to us. So we never played with a number two, number three, and one and a half boards. Okay. Every Sunday it's sort of like that. After lunch, I cut his ear.
Mm.
I can trap it over the liquor. And that's how I start getting to normalizing myself how to use the clipper. So you have to I think as men of oh it's a clipper the skills in instrument
Yeah.
so I had to adapt to all those things because at that time the technology wasn't like it's now. So. And then when it came to the point where I started really like convincing myself that it can't swim.
Mm.
I started convincing my friends that oh when you can swim,
Trust me with you, eh?
yeah, and then even they really trust me. So ik het baie swaar hier aan the
Mm.
client kom basically. But my father was my number one because of the time when he actually gave me the opportunity. I grabbed
Mm.
every Sunday because I
Yeah.
got it.
It's almost like practice.
Yes, it started being exciting now because I kind of did a boot the
Yeah.
episode now. And then during the week, maybe after school, me and my friends, Lamatet, at time of the smoke starts, smoke to a couple, and then good machines were put, and then I did one maybe now with the blade. That time it was free and with the blade all day and stuff. I started trimming them first, just to show them more or less what I can do basically. And then afterwards, I can remember Sando and Diego. They were the first guys of my friend
Who
groups
trusted
that
you.
actually trusted me to give me the opportunity to start cutting the hair. And that's when it came in. But I started cutting the hair. They were only a number one god. I never had the two, the three, and the four. So it was I think tawag si wish ko what sis, parents si fast as ayaw ko kasi, of yung kodromat si, but nooit na rechte snoe, so because I think Amerikaans appliances. And then yeah, that's how I started to eventually the year when my father passed away, that was in 2018, sorry. 2018, then I actually started taking up serious because I think that's when single parent vibes going in between. So I
Okay.
know I didn't take a while to kind of pull up, so, and that's where it actually started. So I started taking up the Bob industry serious really when I came to high school, basically.
So this is basically where you decide to turn your mind and say, okay, now let me look at it as a
In a
serious,
deeper
in a
ways.
deeper
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
yes, correct.
Before you open your own shop, what were you doing in where did it push you to becoming a lead entrepreneur?
Okay, before I opened my first shop or my own shop, it was I didn't school and that's how it went on. So I started
Mm,
getting my clients so as I went on because obviously I graded myself during that. And my mother also afterwards she started buying me a clipper, the red wall, and that's actually the machine that actually pushed through the line.
mm,
So that machine, thanks to her and thanks to that clipper that she bought me, that actually gave me more exposure to the people outside, which now
mm,
cutting. I was in school. I never had a job like an actual factory, 9 to 5
mm,
job. So my thing was always in cutting here since my father passed away. So after school, I started. I was operating in Marbury. After school, right after school, I finished in 2021. So the next year, you obviously get your results and what. So the same time when I finished school, I was waiting on my results and stuff. And in January, I actually saw in one dairy and Zor. I saw
mm,
it on the status that backyard barbershop they're actually looking for barbers. And then I made contact with Zor and then afterwards he gave me Benito Pikes. That's the owner of backyard barbershop. He gave me his number and everything and contact details and then I contacted him and he told me come for trials on the specific day and then I went for trials and I started in February 2022, I started my journey
mm.
with Backyard. And then up until last year, the 11th of 11th month, I ended my journey with him, with Backyard Barbershop. And that's what it's been. It's been a healthy journey that I've been
Mm.
through with him. I've grew a lot, got to exposure a lot. I even went to the competition that Mr. Ario also
Mm.
hosted last year. I went to the competition and it gave me more of exposure to the industry, actually becoming a proper barber,
Mm.
not just a barber, but in men's grooming services.
Mm.
And that's where I found actually that the land is really that's in need
Mm.
in the land is for a grooming service, and that was a gap in the market. And that's where we started with our barbershop here in Benito. We bought it together. We started this thing from the ground. We actually bought this thing to
Mm.
unscripted support. So yeah, he helped me and I'm grateful for the help that he gave me.
Mm.
And I also helped him at the same time. Then I got which trailer about it. You can do him and I trailer about it in the beach front for it.
Okay.
So me and him we bought that trailer. And yeah, we established that box of course and we did the same here with us.
Yeah, just guys, a shout out for Backyard Barbery.
Shout out to Backyard.
But you mentioned you at the competition, so tell us about the experience, what happened there, and how did it came
I
in?
was very nervous. Yo, I was nervous. Yo. The nerves can't even look good. But okay, I prepared myself well before, but I wasn't really well. I thought I was well prepared, but
Mm.
until the day where you actually challenge other people, other barbers in the industry, you actually meet with the requirements that they're actually supposed to meet with. So you
Yes.
see what they expect, what the judges and all these people vigilating and the spectators, what the all really want to see out there. So me and Junior, actually, he's a barbershop in my backyard. We ended in the tag team competition category.
Okay.
So we had one model on the seat, and then there was two barbers cutting at
So you
one.
must cut like half.
Yes, but you must be able to interact. Sê ek sny nou miskien nou kan vyde in 'n pit en moet
Mm.
sy ook my vyde een pit en kan
Yo.
klaar maak. Ek met jou vyde in jou pit en kan
So you
klaar
guys
maak.
like in
Yes, you
so
sweet spots, yes. And then we had to finish off one another's pattern and fading and what etc. And it was a bit, it was a great experience. Soos ek sê, was eers in die begin, you don't know what to expect, so
mm.
nou as ek sê klaar was nou. Because that is more of experience dogs. I'm easy for some all
Mm.
those dogs, those errands
Extreme
out
guys.
there. But because of its Adil is my role model, I went in the competition to beat him and to actually see what they're capable of
Mm.
and what they have to share with the youth out there. And I learned a lot Because ik het eerst gekeken, ik was niet zo spectator in die crowd. Ik heb letterlijk rondgelopen en ik heb gekeken wat India kebab kan doen. Because you have something different. Your technique is different. Your Sisika technique is maybe different. Your clippers technique is maybe different. Beard shape up, lineup, whatever is maybe different. So I learned actually a lot from the competition and that specific day. And I'm looking forward to attend more competitions to learn more through other barbers also because they sharpen my skills.
Yeah. So, in the early days, what was like the hardest part of getting started?
In the early days of the hardest part, what I can think of was actually sacrificing the job where I was at
Mm.
compared to the job that I'm going into. It's in
Yeah.
my own space, in my own place that I'm actually starting to run up now. So it was but challenging the fact that my mind went wild but that I'm going to go on my own.
Mm.
No one behind me, no one on the side of me. So what am I actually gonna do? So just a thought of it already made me like a bit hesitate.
Mm.
So eventually it came to the time where I told myself, right now it's a minute to do. After all, you're gonna go through the school. Because I felt like really motivated with the idea because he actually showed me how deep this industry can take you really into it. Because he's an ambassador for art, if I'm correct. And then at the same time, I having his own scene for that barbershop, so I actually look up to him a lot. And that's actually where I got the name also from later on. And yeah, my challenge was just running this thing alone.
Mm.
And how am I gonna keep up with the financial part? I'm gonna deal with the clients
Mm.
because I'm a senior barber. I'm gonna deal with this whole shop operating fluently, like I know how the shop actually goes. Ik was op een keer te running because there was a time when Benito went to go study. Werner, when he had obviously a 9 to 5 job in between, he had this industry as part time. So I was full time there, so I had to take accountability and full responsibility for the business running there. So I had to literally run the spot, backyard barbershop, flat out. So for me, it was a start right from the bottom to come up to this point where we are now. We get goal is running from it. So the main challenge was we want to make clients streak
Mm.
because also you want to make money.
Yeah.
You're a young man. You have a family. You have people waiting on you. You have people depending on you. The means what you stand in back into. So my main thing was how am I gonna really attract all my loyal clients and how are they supposed to? Because I'm not gonna message you individually to tell you, hey Marshall, I'm done here, I'm here now, doing this now, and no. So under all the people was a surprise. I posted my status. I'm done with backyard now, eventually, and I stepped out and I'm on my own now. And that's how it get to the point where I overcome that fear basically.
Mm.
Because it was like face wat se bang raak. Hoe wat se gee maar kan die mense wel dit besig om te ran en se mense wat in voet. So what gaan ze maar? And then I did the basics. What I did, I post every day on my status. Until today, I post every single day on my status. And I thought like, daar is die ding wat vir my gedraai bebek ja. So hoe kan ek dit met draai? And that's where I reflected back. How did I start there? And where I can think of how I started my backyard being not I won't say a famous barber, but known in the community of Montgomery and Atlantis. As when I went live on TikTok, not much on TikTok, but I'm starting over with Facebook first. Because ik ben op Facebook weer in meer gegeten. So I went live on Facebook more and people was asking me, where's this place, where's this place, where's this place. So I thought like, yeah, you can sell them my people now. And that's how I overcome that. I started going live on TikTok and I'm creating more, getting more followers and creating more content and all that. And that's how I attracted all my clients.
Okay. Walk us through where it actually take, takes to run a barber, like the costing, the daily operations, the things people don't see.
Yeah, okay. Your basic, okay, your foundation that your strategy should be basic. You should keep up with how I operate my business. That's basically how I operate as a person also. So me myself, I tell myself I am the business, I'm not the business. So by that I mean like I'm the profile also when it comes to the business, but I'm not the business. You can call it Sami because we're after we're running it together. So it was challenging at first because stockers the
Mm.
bought of equipment and products and stuff. It's really expensive. You can ask anyone out there um that has a supplier Limelight and Sound Instagram
Mm.
that people is really like pricing on the stuff and I don't mind paying the price because it's quality was behind it. And after also there was quality, they
Yeah.
cut quality service
Because
for
that
price.
was it's like an if you have a bad haircut, then it's like for men, especially if we talk
Yeah.
about men. Imagine if you're a miscue, how is people
Yo,
gonna look you?
bad reputation ook so maar
Yeah.
babas op nada, you know. So yeah, firstly I stocked up with about the 4,000, say 4,000. I can't remember accurately the amount, but it was 4,300
Mm.
I bought stock, and that stock lost me 3 months almost
Yeah.
because I was a single mom who
Mm.
was operating, you know. So I had to stock up a lot because I won't be able to go on the road and just
Mm.
do my thing like I want to do it because I must attend to the shop. I must open it every single day 9 o'clock.
Mm.
And the trading hours is Monday to Wednesday is 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and then Thursday to Friday is 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday it's actually 7 o'clock to 3 o'clock,
Mm.
and then Sunday is 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So that's where I started entering or putting my basics to to actually set up the proper business because it's a bit challenging. If you can think about the trading hours
Mm.
and you calculate the amount of hours you're really going to work, and you can ask many of my clients, ik sabi mo, ako ka na snake of your client.
Yeah.
Ask Amy, no, Team Bookies.
Mm.
She comes to me at 7 o'clock, maybe every second Friday.
Because I was also calculating, maybe if I want to cut me, I'm an early guy,
You
maybe
must,
I
you're
can't
more than welcome to
come
come
late.
early. Yes,
Come
but
late.
obviously with the early
Mm.
and the late hours, it's a cost also of
Okay.
extra, because of my time is also my time,
Mm.
If I can start at 9 o'clock and I take bookings from 9 o'clock, that's normal price. But if I start like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I'll charge you maybe, for example, 200 rand,
Mm.
150, depending on the amount of hours before trading hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was challenging to run the business also at the beginning with financial support.
Mm.
I coped a lot because ik moet basically myself een week moest doen. Alle jaar aan niet aan
Mm.
alle jaar aan die bizar.
Yeah.
So what I did in the beginning, I reinvested. I reinvested my
Yeah.
craft, build it fast.
Mm.
So that's what I always wanted to do to myself. I told myself, mensen zouden zien, dat de bizar het jaar, dat de bizar
Mm.
het jaar, dat is ook jaar.
Is a
That's
businessman.
business money. So obviously the stuff that you need to buy, it's so
Mm.
expensive. It takes most of the money.
Yeah.
You said what it's saying, and it's saying it's honest.
Mm.
You said it's at the same time. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me it was easy the first 3 2 months because I had stopped for
Mm.
like a while. Also, like I said, it lost me almost up to three months because I was a single mom operating also. And then now with me and Cole,
Mm.
clients because we have more clients in
Mm.
Australia than more clients. We trying to keep up with everything with the stock control,
Mm.
the financial part, how we control our financial part is we have sheets.
Yeah.
We note every hit that we cut, maybe every client that ships in, maybe now walking or appointment, we note it on that sheet. And at the end of the day, you can calculate how many money or how much money or how many clients you had for the day. And at the end of the week, you can calculate how much hits you had for the whole week,
Mm.
maybe how many clients you had for the whole week. And then that comes in when you calculate your money. Because we're small business, we operate with wages for now.
Mm.
So every week I pay call his money into his banking details, into his bank
Mm.
account, and then, yeah, from there he showed that every month I don't really get involved into his amount of money that he really makes for the shop.
Mm.
I give him another cheat to him money instead
Okay.
of me being his boss. I tell him,
Yeah, no one wants to be up.
you know,
You come, especially when you work 9 to 5, you want to move away from that.
yeah. So I always tell him, I'm the boss. I'm not the boss. I'm the boss of the world. I'm the
Mm.
owner of the world. I'm not the boss of the world. So I won't tell you this and that and that. You must just abide by the rules and terms and conditions of the barbershop shit out there. Because you click him along, obviously say reels in the So if he meets the basic requirements, everything runs fluent.
No
With
problem.
myself also. If I meet all this and I sit out myself,
Mm.
no problems in. And it was we had a meeting, and this is 2 weeks ago, last week. We had a meeting about the basic things that we now come down on our clients maybe giving us a problem here.
Mm.
Problem solving meeting basically. And then at the same time, we're not just solving the problem of the client, but at the same time, we're solving our problem. Me and him, maybe now time management.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she called me, go, right? It's not a bit of an okay, the big focus of it. It's not a bit of an
To like an skill in to save time as well.
So that you can have more clients in the day. So sometimes people don't have to wait. People don't have time to wait.
Now
All the
people
time,
don't
people
want
wanna
to wait, man.
And that's how my clients, they make appointments and I love it. I love Ali, you go to the Baki, I love it, I love maximum of 5 years and yeah, awesome.
But do you think that the appointment basis is a bit better to do? It's easier.
I would advise people to for the disappointment, to avoid the disappointment. I would advise people to go on a because it's a bit costly, but the waiting period is less. In that way. Because ik ga nou misschien een vijf appointments in de rij zijn, maar zij wonen nog misschien. Dan wachten ze nog maar. Zij moeten 5 appointments wachten. Automatically it's gonna work like that. I'm not gonna give you that privilege to come and have a seat and knowing that my appointment is here. That's more money than you actually.
Yeah.
So as je die jaar, as a shit, I put it.
It's principle.
It's a business principle that sit out. That person that made the appointment to be shot before and he has the privilege and he has the right to sit on his time at the It's a bit challenging sometimes to be on time because sometimes some people should put 40 minutes on board. Ik boek misschien nog 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's
fast. Many times die in the road in the
So, but how do you build and also keep loyal company based on the competitive industry? It's out there because here in Atlanta it's like
there's a lot of barbers.
Oh, a lot of barbers. It's
there's a lot of barbers in Atlanta.
Every corner
but
there's one.
It's not a lot of barber shops like this actually. You know what I mean? So where I can keep my loyalty, my secret, and I'm gonna share with you is every night I tell myself, because this was today, tomorrow must be better. So what am I gonna do to better myself tomorrow? So I analyze my day. Like today, we present here today now. I analyze today for tomorrow. So that I can know tomorrow I don't do that again. Maybe I made a small mistake in the day. Mistake made, mistake corrected the next day. And then what I would always do now, how I keep my loyal clients, I would always keep them a spot available if I know you your normal time. You for example come 1 o'clock at home. 1 o'clock you're at home. Now every Tuesday 1 o'clock you wanna cut your hair. Every second Tuesday 1 o'clock. You build a relationship with your client.
Yeah.
You have understanding with your client. So automatisch gaan ze met your routine with your client. So that's how I actually keep the spot. I maybe not telling, maybe not Marshall today. We're having our appointment at 2:30. Just a quick example. Now I know okay, Marshall's hard for me to be able to. Now I'm coming. Next week Tuesday again. Not next week, the week after Tuesday. Now I ask you maybe now, should I keep you the tooth? It's not okay. I put it out to someone else. Now you tell me maybe don't keep the tooth. Now I know there was also someone maybe booking yesterday or really good at 2:30 maybe now for that week, the coming week. Let us say the 19th of June, for example, 2:30. Marshall's next cut is also the 19th of June, maybe 2:30 because I come 1 o'clock for the ice. I don't I hear it now, I think so this is what doing open and then he's getting the workshop. Then I maybe now message you, heads up, buddy, you're gonna take that slot. Can I book it out someone else? And then he said, I'll tell me 9, can book it out. And then what I did the other time, when it comes to um maybe for example, like back to schools.
Mm.
Now in the gym, now January is back to school. 2026 back to school, the main start of back to school. The day before school, it's always busy. In the
Yeah,
parks.
because everybody
I'm over
watches.
the day before school. Say the school went open on the 26th of January.
Mm.
The 24th of January, everyone was on a carry. The 23rd of January, you know what I did? I organized two barbers in my area that I actually taught how to carry. I gave them
Mm.
all the techniques and everything. So I asked them, guys, is it fine? Will you guys maybe volunteer for me for a day? If it's possible,
Mm.
I'll even pay you for that.
Mm.
Nou sny jy miskien 5, 6 koppe in die area, nuwe oors,
Mm.
cuts. Free. And then that's how I attract new clients.
Mm.
Because your boy is maybe there by bikers in Rotterdam, for example. But now, I gave him a free cut now, on the 23rd or 24th of January.
Mm.
So now, he's really down with the moody. Daddy, I want to go there, blade of honor, or the Rabbi David, or the Rabbi Dangasala, because why? You already show his friends and all friends after that, and you have me
Mm.
after that, and you learn your fusion, you learn shoot trades, and you learn client after that. And that's how it actually started by
Mm.
growing, word of mouth, obviously, myself, spirit food.
But it's most the best advertisement.
That's a base in marketing, obviously,
Mm.
proper marketing.
What has been your biggest challenge running the business and how did you push through it?
Sure, my biggest challenge running the business was having a lot of clients on that day where I was on one, or like a soul bob. I was one guy captain the
Yo?
ball. And it was in December month, last year. I want to lie to you. Last year, December month. I think it was on the 23rd of December or the 24th. But that day, it was really pro. I didn't know what I'm going to do. But then I planned it before. I told myself that 24th, I'm going to get up. I'm gonna get the pipe closed and then we started around post five. I started around post
Mm.
5 and 6 o'clock. Uh, I started my second client. So I ran through that day, whole day, without eating,
Yo?
without drinking, without going to the toilet, without doing anything else, but just standing on my feet and batting.
So?
Whole day. It was challenging, yes. But after all, I enjoyed
Mm.
myself. Because why? If you take it that way now, as the December month,
Mm.
you get the crying client in and that person is being difficult. But then you get the sober client on the other side, having some maybe some advice to you on the other side. Because I started the business so close at that time, So a lot of people wanna advise also. Maybe now have some points. I think this. Don't you think it's gonna be better if you do that
Mm.
maybe? And if you do that maybe it's gonna be better. Now you get some people that's coming here having some fun, making them social. And that makes you forget for
Mm.
the time. And as time goes, you see, you also have 10 o'clock
Yo?
half past 5 or something. Oh, it's amazing. I'm standing like more than how
Mm.
many hours already on my feet now? And many days I cut more than 12 hours.
So? Isn't it put like strain on yourself, like your
That's put
feet and your
that's put strain on myself. But what I do now, I train my mind to train my body.
mm. Mind over body?
Yes, that's mind over matter actually.
Mm.
So what I do is I always tell myself while it's busy, enjoy that
Mm.
busyness while it's busy. Because when it's quiet, you must always enjoy the quietness,
Mm.
like the busy days. And that's how I actually push through day by day. Because it's not every single day busy at the barbershop.
Yeah,
I
there
can
is.
say,
There
ask,
is.
ask I can analyze the through the business when it's busy, when it's quiet. Because you also already last thing you told me, and we must starving you. And then I knew like, it's really like a starving. Like you get the calendar is
Mm.
just right behind me, and that's how we always keep ourselves up to date. I check always a month, a week in the month.
Mm.
Now we know, okay, as well as second week, it's not gonna be that busy, but our regulars is gonna come. Obviously, our regulars
Mm.
will be regulars, so they'll always come. And that's how we keep up, always up. And then we always try to improve our grooming service. For example, I got this cheese. I actually had a workshop in Boydegoede last year. I bought the chairs in Pero last year, and then I took it straight to that box. And those chairs standing over there, that was the chairs actually bought for this place. And then I told myself, you know what? Atlantis don't really have this service actually in Atlantis. This type of grooming service. En ik kan letterlijk in een praat this way to all the people that's having a beard save and a beard lineup. When it comes to having that specific moment of going in that moment of having a beard save, that's when they relax, man. In the leg restricted, you know, relax them. And that's where it made the difference.
Okay.
So that was actually one of the meetings, and I closed that shop in Zimmerman. I closed the shop in Zimmerman. It was something around the run when helped me with that shop, helped me to serve the clients because I can't be both sides at the same time. And it was actually a loss I had, but it's no problem. I at least would see.
Yeah, but it's like an experiment.
That's experience also.
Yeah.
Because I was a bar in the barbershop. We had a bar in the barbershop, and I was sharing it with some other guy, the Indian guy who's he loves in type of view around me. So I see the space with him. We had a bar on the side, and we opened the barbershop on the other side. I make a client off of it, but you know, you must always keep it busy, man. The thing is, you must always walk it,
Yeah.
walk it, walk it. Ah, like it, bisa like you flick, let him know. Like I sing, then that's bisa you can go there.
But is it if you think about like you guys ate a bar and it's a barber, so it's like a perfect combination.
As a pub, listen to me. Don't get it twisted. People don't get it twisted. As a perfect combination. But yeah, it's a community. And you know what's the bad part? Was it wrong with you?
Yo, oh yeah,
You
that's
see,
the one thing
that's the worst part. That's the worst part of everything. Because for me, I don't like being interrupted. Don't serve me
while you're in your flow.
You know, everything is going smooth, so let's keep it going.
You're talking about the men's grooming. Is it just a beard saving, washing?
No, we do scissor cuts, eyebrow shapes. We do all those type of everything when it comes to hair, but we're not into threading yet and into waxing yet. But we're looking forward to going into that side of the grooming service.
Okay.
So with that also being said, it's gonna obviously cost extra, but it's gonna make us more different out here in the land. Okay. Because what as I did my research and investigated, Asian barbershop, like when a patient operate, that's the RP. But if we're not in the land anymore, I move to Normally. And in its members now, but the patient is not fully operating yet. I myself fix a mixer, whatever, but if I had it, make it, but as a liquid, I don't need it anyway.
But is that now like to do the washing and everything once you cut? Is it better to cut someone's hair? What when you wash it?
Before cutting hair is a bit of like before cutting hair, you wash after that. I would say after haircut, preferably to to see where you can like better
the look.
Yeah, because like my experience was over the years I've noticed. Yo, haircut like met gevaarlijk. Lekker een dag na de tweede na de dat zal de zien na de gevaarlijke shit natuurlijk. Now he is being naturally again. Because obviously you're cutting the hair. It's being shortened and everything, so it's spiking sometimes. So means that rather was it's messed up. So means it's better. So when it comes to where you wash it afterwards, it's actually showing the natural look of the whole goes on. Customer machine. I know it's a hard what it among now you remove the leaves and go with the maybe now. Oh, the blend isn't so far like when you wash it. Machine of it, I got machine. Now you brush it a bit down, now you maybe now you blend it again short, maybe it's a short blend but nothing. Everything's
okay. If someone wants to open their own barbershop today, what's the one thing you would tell them right from day one that they need to get right?
my thing that I would give advice to the youth out there, guys, if you start a barbershop, really from my point of view, equip yourself properly, educate yourself, wie often die equipment you have. Like het baat is zeggen, scare, but ze niet kan gebruiken. As gaan nie sin maak. So you koop yourself properly. And if you wanna go affordable, get yourself affordable clippers because what die wow thing is overrated as R5,000 and
Yeah.
R3,000 in hy sit in op die regte plek om te kry. But if you go to a basic place like Duskim or Clicks, we buy the same food maybe. It's affordable at 700 rand, sometimes it's 500 rand on sale. So equip yourself very well and then watch other barbers videos in between as you start your business. Because they also have a tip and a key point and a technique and a strategy how they do things. Maybe you can steal a bit from them and each one. So never keep yourself in that bubble that you gaan bitter as hy. Yeah, you can become bitter. No doubt about
But
it.
it's training.
Don't get it twisted. But you must obviously train yourself to the point where you're better than Marshall because hey, Marshall is nou al 'n legend, hy is nou al 15 jaar bedryf. Marshall ken nou wat wie even negatief. Marshall ken nou soos 'n cats en bedai cats en bedai. So always reach out to the others and ask them for advice because why advice is the most important thing basically. If you're not gonna get advice from me, that's experience. Sy gaan hele storie van die game dan. En dan gaan ek vir jou wat sy storie dan. En ek gaan miskien nou nie daai persoon wie wat bitter gaan wees om vir jou die advice te gee vir die
But it's taking my clients.
You know, if you ask for advice, it will maybe better the whole process and it won't prolong the process.
But since you've been talking like that, do you think in your industry now, is people willing to give advice or are they gatekeeping it? Some stuff as well that you need to learn the hard way.
I won't say people is always willing to give advice because they always have the intention of, hey, man, as I'm a client or cut man, as you know, from advice. But it's not like that. If you help that person, you know who's in control, the man of above. And that man is going to give you more people in replace if he gets that person. If I attract one of your clients, he's going to come two new ones to you without you even noticing. Maybe not that specific day, that specific time, but in that week, maybe in that month, maybe. But in the ongoing time, you'll meet with a blessing. So bless others so that you can stay blessed. Not with intention just to be blessed.
But the thing is, if like I don't know why people sometimes in persons or I notice that they are scared to like
share
advice. And the thing is, if you look at the barber shop, there's a lot of barber shops all over area in Atlantis. But whenever you come there, it's gonna be full. People don't want to wait. So if I stop and I say, okay, but if I come to you or I make an appointment, it's always easier, it's faster. Because that is most now the thing. I want to come and sit and cut and go.
If I can maybe make this example, no? It was about plus minus 3 years ago. There's a barber shop right around the corner opposite you. That guy's name is Papi. He told me, hey, you taking a chance. You coming here and playing with your money and stuff. And I tell him, Papi, you know what? You don't know how long I've been cutting. Obviously, you see me cutting now this period of time because I'm getting more exposure. You know? Then he told me, yeah, if you're gonna put up a barbershop, I'm gonna send the people, then they come text you and all that stuff. Telling me, you know what, go on with all your bad things you have to say. But one day when I'm up there, I'm gonna come down again and I'm gonna come to you specifically. And I'm gonna come to you and advise you. And you know what? I did it.
And what did he say?
He was shocked. He was sitting in his barbershop. I was busy. I went to buy dye day by Yusuf. Because we use nectar, it was perfect black. We actually using a super black now. So I ran over, we ran out of stock. So I ran over to Yusuf. And as I ran to Yusuf, I came out, bought the stuff already, and I came out and I saw him sitting in his store like this. And I pop in and I tell him, Papi, you remember 3-4 years ago? What did you tell me? Wait, boss, you big boss now, you big boss. I tell him, you know what? Let me tell you one thing. Never underestimate the next person. You don't know the capacity and the capability that person will hold in himself.
Yes.
So that's the main secret behind everyone. Everyone has their specialty or their specific version that you don't expose to others. And you know, this is a hidden agenda. I can't really give this to other people. And I told him, you know what I'm gonna do? They help you. When I help you upgrade your place, I'm not gonna give you finance. I'm not gonna give you items and products and material and stuff. No, I'm gonna make you imagine this thing. I'm gonna make you so develop it, man, more into a modern place. Catch up with the trend, catch up with the youth. Because we as barbers, we should grow with people. You know, as much time, as much a hele lifetime ding wat jy houding trust with people with you, it's not easy. So if the client is with you, the client will stay with you till whatever time you start or end up being nice because you look at the client or in the direction. And then his partner cutting the with him, came to me one morning, Saturday morning, now we ain't called busy. He said, "Dear, yo, if I look at that way, no, you were small lady running around playing soccer. Yo, today you have nice place. And what do you do? I tell him, Papi, I'm Rasta. I can tell you, Papi, no, underestimated me. And I always keep me humble. I never told me that I'm better than you, I'm better than Papi, I'm better than who else. Everyone can be better than anyone in that specific moment. It's not about who's what and what is who. So I told him, if you want advice, I don't mind sharing my advice. Come to me and we can have a genuine confidential conversation, but only within this space. I'm not going to your place and I'm going to see that information. Now there's too much people around and too many of you guys. There was now obviously foreigners in the house. So the foreigners obviously in and out of the house. So I don't like sharing information, especially my secrets and stuff. And there's a lot of people around. A lot of people can hear this and telling you. And I'm telling you, Marshall, alright, do this and that. And then afterwards, if you've done that, I'll take you further into this. Says if you do that, only if you do that. But if you don't do that, I'm not going to take you further.
It's almost like you're putting it down into chapters.
Yes, I'm cutting it off into layers for them so that they can also see the progress of the whole situation and the whole plan and the process that they're entering into. So he came here, I bought him up one machine that Saturday morning, one Safer Club, I bought him up out of my space, I bought him. So that's what I would always go out and help others also. That's me being raised like that. So it's not me being forced into that person. And my machine school from it. And I'm grateful for also making me or raising me that humble that way. Because as a people, I have visited Salikula see and I even thought a lot of you, there's a lot of like this around me. And I can't crack what on that with him being involved today. He get full of a leave. And even they grab my clients, I can't be quiet. What's the use I told him? It's about making the money and being the person.
Yeah.
And after all your character would hold the most value, you know.
Yes.
So if you a great person,
it's good. I just because we're coming out to the end. What is the one message you want to leave with youth who are stuck and unmotivated right now?
my message to the youth out there is um yo, you don't need to be the best to start, but start so that you can become the best. And you don't need to be the best. Just give it your best and you'll be the best. That already makes you the best. That's my powerful message to the youth out there. So whatever industry you enter into, guys, don't even be ashamed to withhold yourself from doing research, doing a bit of this, stealing a bit of that. I'm not meaning physical steal, but stealing with the eye and imagining it but better in your brain. And just embrace everything. Because I actually never knew this was my calling until the day I actually started like giving myself this opportunity to give it my all. No, and when it was calm, I was very ashamed. I was always like, my barasa, let's start, you know. Ik kan only study due to circumstances, but I can't blame myself. How much money I hustle, and now that I'm a big that time when I started really cutting hair, barbers wasn't that famous and attractive and that most money makers. You check on TikTok, everyone wanna be barbers today. And that's where it starts with yourself. If you believe it, yourself,
Mm.
within yourself, you will achieve and accomplish everything within yourself. And then you will see it out there as a result in reality. Because I never imagined myself like this.
Mm.
And I never imagined this place like this. But I remember, I always told her, like, I want to be a owner of a shop, but I never knew how I want to get to it, you know. So after all, Almighty sets out this way for you. So you must
Mm.
obviously follow the way that He leads you into, and never just dwell off the road also. Because waar soms dit is as besoeking met die pad af nog niet.
Mm.
Maar dan kan je nog altijd nog je kop boven water en antwoord. And that's the most powerful thing to do. In the first bad days, don't forget about the good days.
Mm.
The good days should be a motivation for the bad days, and the bad days should be a motivation for the good days.
Mm.
So it's a give and take. You know what I mean? So after all, this industry of the barber industry taught me a lot. Uh, it helped me form my mind with mental stability because I was a very type of insecure person at first also. And once I was an introvert, I was always socializing and
Mm.
going out and talking. But when I started with this industry and meeting specific people, they also helped me build my character.
Mm.
They also helped me up becoming the version of myself that I am today. And I could never even imagine myself like this because a few years ago, if I can take it back, I was in school and it was a dumb personality. You know what I mean? That's thrown on my
Mm.
pocket. And like any other youth boy out here, also want to become a gangster. I was also part of it once. I was also out there. It took my dinge gedoen wat ek doen in die straat beskerm hier ek en ons van hulle hier. Sy het 'n kolom goedes vir my wat sy nie moes om hier te doen. Dat ek gedink het I'm gonna hide it from her. But somehow she just got the way where she can figure out things. And that's where it starts with honesty with yourself. If you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with the next person. And it won't even take a minute to be honest with yourself than being honest with the next person. Because dan sien ze die waarde van jezelf. You will see the value of you as a person also, because then you can share information right to go. And that's my message to the youth out there. Start with yourself. If you really can set up yourself well, and if you can have someone that can guide you along, follow the guidance.
Mm.
Take it, either lead you, take the help and let them lead you also. I'm not going to get a path. I'm emotionally man.
They'll take the wrong rope.
Yeah. So start with yourself and tell yourself, I'm not the best, but I'm going to become the best. So I'm going to give it my best, and that makes me the best.
David, things are being with yourself, my brother.
Awesome. I appreciate everything, man.
So,
Thanks.
yeah, guys, please do not forget to please like and subscribe and see you in the next episode.
Short, guys.